Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Raging Demon here. Just giving my quick review of Avatar Legends the Fighting Game. So, I did start playing this basically when it came out. What was interesting is it said its release date was like the 23rd of July, but it wasn't really. It didn't come out till like the 24th. I don't even think it was fully available then. It's, American release dates. The time difference is probably the reason, but it was frustrating because it basically only just came out halfway through the next day after that. But yeah, I was excited to play this game. I've made it no secret that I willed this into existence single-handedly when me and Chaotic Jim did an episode like 3 or 4 years ago about franchises we wish had a fighting game, and this was one of my top ones. I forget where I ranked it. I think it might have been number 1 or number 2, but I really wanted them to make a fighting game out of Avatar. It just made sense. It seems cool. The show, I'm a big fan of the show, and it just, for me, it was a no-brainer, and they finally did it. So, what do I think of this game? It's a relatively simple game, so it's not. They haven't gone the route of no difficult inputs or anything like that. But there are auto combos. You can just spam, 1 over and over and over again, or X or square or whatever, depending on what you're playing it on. So it's relatively simple. Most characters they don't play the same. That there's a big difference between different characters. That's for sure. They're all unique, especially with a mechanic called flow. However, all their inputs are relatively similar, and they only have a limited amount of special moves. But that doesn't mean it's boring or basic. The inputs might be basic, and the idea might be pretty universal, like the way you control the characters, or their inputs, should I say. But the actual play styles vary quite a lot. They have grapplers, they have rushdowns, they have tanks, they have, the various tropes when it comes to fighting games, archetypes, and that sort of thing. So I'm a bit of a Shoto guy, so I was a big fan of Azula and Firebenders just in general. So I played mostly Azula and Zuko. Korra's pretty cool as well. So this game doesn't have too many crazy mechanics. It does have a few. So it has a flow gauge, and your flow is basically unique to each character, but it is basically like an auto parry. So you hold down the flow gauge, and it also charges your other meter. So I forget what that meter was called, but that's how you do your supers, right? And you also have a level 7 super that you can do, but only if you've lost a round. So the flow gauge takes a bit to master. Each character has a different usage of it. Some use it for mobility, like Aang and Zuko. Some use it to augment their abilities. The flow gauge is different for each character. Most of them have a duck with it, or an evasive maneuver where you hold down and press flow. But I didn't experiment. I used it when I played through the story with the different characters. I didn't master it for all the characters. This game is going to have quite the meta, I think. But yeah, so I'll just speak a bit about who developed this game. So it's Gameplay Group International. They've done a pretty good job. The animation looks good. The voice acting is a little amateur, if I'm honest. They couldn't get the same voice actors, and that's a shame. So if you're a fan of the show, that might sort of give you the ick, as people say. It's just a 1v1 fighting game. There are assist characters, and these assist characters augment your abilities very similar in the way that, say, Mortal Kombat 11 did. You can choose a type for your character, right? They're not true assist characters. The only character that has real assists is really Zahir, and they're just part of his moves, right? So you do one move, and then one of his gang come out, and if you beat on his combustion bender chick that was his girlfriend from the show, if you beat on her a bit too much, he gets the ability to fly. So there's some cool stuff the cool nods and Easter eggs that tied into the show's lore, particularly with Azula's super, right? So Azula's a bit of a beast with the lightning. When she shoots lightning at either Zuko or Aang, if you press the flow gauge at the right moment and parry, you can shoot the lightning back at her. So if you're Zuko, you just shoot it straight back at her and just, to hell with her. Take your lightning back. If you're Aang, he does what he does in the show with Ozai. He shoots it in the air, right? So it's that's pretty cool that they put that in there. It's very hard to do. It takes practice, but I was able to perform it myself. So, it's just all about timing. So just before she's about to shoot it, you have to get ready. You have to press a button, basically. It's slightly before she shoots it, not when she shoots it. So yeah, so it's a pretty, bog standard fighting game. It's got a story mode, it's got arcade, it's got online. I didn't get online because I was working away at the time, so I had pretty shit internet, so I didn't bother getting online to play it. It wouldn't have worked anyway. So it's got obviously training modes, and they're good. They got tutorials, and you can practice the combos. The manual combos in this game are beastly, so it's not like it's all super simple. Just mash, one over and over again in auto combo. But they do follow the structure of the sort of the light, medium, heavy special, right? And launcher, and then in the air. You can't block in the air. That's important to know. There aren't a lot of anti-air moves. They do all have an anti-air move, all the characters, but it's not like there's no Shoryuken sort of universal thing for all the Shotos. There's a few characters that have something similar. Zuko's got a dive kick, which is cool. Aang kind of has like a dive kick, but you have to go into his glider thing when he's flying. There's, what else was I going to say? Yeah, so we'll just go over the roster off the top of my head. You have the last three, not the last three avatars because Roku's not there, but I'm guessing he'll come in as DLC. You got Aang, Korra, and Kyoshi. Kyoshi is massive. She is like basically a tank. Throws are OP in this game, so throws are really important, and you can do air throws. So air throw is kind of like your anti-air by default. So throws do a lot of damage, so be mindful of those to break out of them and to do them. And blocking, what I found the most success is the crouch block is pretty powerful, right? So if you try to go all out attack, you can really get messed up in this game. Zoning isn't overly dominant in this game because you got great mobility options. Every character can dash. Kyoshi's pretty slow. Ozai is pretty slow. So they're very similar in how they play. Like I said, I stuck to the Shoto type characters. Azula mostly. So you got the avatars, you got Zuko, Azula, Zahir, Sokka. Sokka's pretty funny in this game, to be honest. Sokka, Katara, Toph, of course. Toph's got a lot of armored moves, especially a heavy. There's basically like an anime fighter type of layout, light, medium, heavy, and flow. So that's your 1, 2, 3, 4. Or your A, B, C, D, as an anime fighter would call it. Who else have we got? We got Ozai. And I know have I said Aang? Sokka. Yeah, I'm sure I'm missing someone here. But just your main staples are in this game. I would have liked them to put Mako in it because I like the firebenders, like I said, or Bolin. But it's mostly characters from the original Airbender series that make it into this game. And yeah, so aside from Zahir, the story is kind of goofy, if I'm being honest. Where to start? It's basically this thing, this might be spoilers, so if you really want to get into the story or play it for yourself first, I'd recommend doing it. I'm going to spoil a little bit. I'm not going to go into every little detail of the story, so don't worry too much about that, but yeah, I'd avoid it if you want to play through the story. So the story is that they're all out of time and they're put into... so obviously all these characters from different time periods. Kyoshi's from the past, and Korra will be from the future, and everyone's sort of all over the shop, all through the different stages. And the idea behind it is Vaatu is doing rift bending, and he's this is where the story is really stupid, and he's sort of used the cabbage vendor guy to do it, and Ozai, and then Azula's good. Toph's bad. They start out and they get their memories back. Korra and Azula are friends. That's one of the janky things about the plot. I guess they thought that'd be funny. The original writers of the show clearly didn't have a hand in this, or they really phoned it in because the story's kind of stupid, right? That's not the only thing that's, sort of out of place. There are some funny things like Sokka being enlightened and being a guru. That's pretty funny, but it's not the original voice actor and it doesn't land well. But yeah, Zahir's good. but he wants to stay good. There's a lot of Ozai is good, but then becomes bad. It's all out of whack, and it slowly unravels itself and returns to normal as they go. But the rift is there, and it's going to destroy all of their universes, the spirit world and the real world, the Avatar world. So they all work as a team and fight each other for reasons, even when they're allies. And you get a good sampling of every character. So if you're going to play through the story, play through it, if not just to get a sort of a taste of each character and muck around with each character before you decide your main. So, like I said, the Firebenders are my favorite. I'm probably going to keep using Azula, but then when I fight Aang or Zuko, I have to be mindful of that. Zuko's cool too, so maybe I'll play Zuko too. But my hope is obviously the franchise has so many good characters to bring in, and I think they had a poll that I answered as well. But yeah, I mean, Iroh should have been in this game too. That would have been pretty awesome, but he wasn't. Oh, and you do have enhanced versions of Aang and Korra, Nightmare Korra, and Avatar State Aang. Regular Korra can go into the Avatar State as one of his specials as well. So, yeah, and I'm just trying to think if I've left anything out mechanics-wise. I don't think I have. But, yeah, it's just, it's actually got a lot of potential. There's a lot of crazy janky stuff in this game. You'll love it if you like, say, Marvel vs. Capcom kind of thing, or some of the other more out there, fast-paced anime fighters too. There's reversals. If you hold the flow button after you are getting, sort of beaten down, you can roll away really far. There's lots of defensive mechanics, and yeah, I can see this having quite the meta, like I said earlier. Yeah, so with back to sort of like my overall impressions of the game, the animation's quite good. I'll give it that. It looks good. There's not really, the only thing I'd really criticize is in the story mode, they don't actually have animated anything else besides the stances that they fight in, and it's kind of stupid. It's really not done well. I mean, they used to do it in some of the older games, but they didn't. They overdo it here. They don't just have dialogue and stuff and have them standing there. They try to use their stances to make it make sense when they probably just could have animated the story mode properly and had a talking stance and stuff like that. But they didn't. So it seems kind of weird, especially Iroh, when he's a powered-up version of... not Iroh, Ozai, when he's a powered-up version of himself, and it's just weird. Yeah, so that's not good. Like, that's a criticism of this game. The visual style, aside from that, looks fantastic. The music's good too. You'll hear a lot of the notes and sounds of the show. And the stages look great too, and there's lots of cool stuff happening in the backgrounds of the stages. So can't fault the stages or the actual graphical work aside from in the story mode. Yeah, so that's basically it. All right, so you've got special moves, you've got 2 meters effectively. Yeah, and you can burn out. So if you overdo your flow gauge and you burn out, you are extremely vulnerable. It does cool down. But you can get insta-killed in this state as well. So if they use a level 7 super on you while you're in that state, you're dead, regardless of how much health you go. And that's a situation that might not be very common, but can happen. So there's real punishment for burning out, So I forget what they call it in this game, but it's, it's like Street Fighter or, City of the Wolves where you burn out. And, yeah. So I think that's really all I've got to say about it. I'd probably give this like a 6 or a 7 out of 10 with room to improve, because obviously they'll patch it, have season passes and stuff like that, and beef up the roster a bit. But yeah, it does kind of smell a little like a budget game, right? Like not even a single A game, like a triple B game. It doesn't, they didn't really go all out with the finishing touches, like paying the right voice actors to do things. Maybe they couldn't get them all, but yeah, that's important to the show. Like, if this had not been a TV show, I'd have probably let them off that, but it is. So that can kind of sound funny, especially Sokka, Zuko. Yeah. Some of them sound okay, but most of them are just a little off. So if they get a character like Iroh, they probably need to have his voice done by the real voice actor there. So yeah, it's on everything. So I recommend picking it up. It's not super expensive. And get stuck into playing online, see how that goes. I think there's no real ranked though. Oh, there is. Is it ranked? I'm not sure. I have to start playing it online. But I've gotten stuck into it. I've finished the story mode. I've kind of settled on a couple of mains, and I'm just going to keep playing it. So, amongst other games. So, I've also just started Nier Automata, or Nier Automata, or whatever you want to say. I've started the Nier game, my first Nier game, and it's so far so good. Me and Jim might do an episode of that. It's on sale, by the way. It's like, $15. So if you've never played it, pick it up. It's good value. Lots of people love this game, and it's highly praised. So I've started playing it, and I'm having a blast with it so far. Yeah, so that's what else is going on. Okay, so I think that's a good place to wrap it up. If this is a soft recommend, and hopefully there's better to come with this game. Don't smash your controllers, and I'll see you in the next one.
You really believe you can face 10,000 years of history?
In my sleep, buddy.